trippy to be that light.
Yeah. So and plus, like he's never won anything. I think in a tournament, but he fought at the Worlds and he won that
At black belt.
at black belt.
So yeah, that's what he's trying to get across. He never medaled in an IBJF tournament at any belt before this. Ever. Never won gold medal. And then he won it at gold.
At black.
And no one's ever done that before. It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
So that just shows you what kind of athlete he is. He also has a lot of stuff out on the internet, video wise content, and he's just one of the most honest athletes I've ever seen. So we'll talk to him about that and how he is so honest. For those that don't know, but I'm sure most people know, Bruce Lee would have turned 72 today. Jared, were you a big Bruce Lee fan? Did he influence you in any way, or?
I actually was. You know, I looked up to him like I wanted lats like him back in the day.
Yeah,
Did you ever see that?
yeah,
It was
of
like
course.
huge ass back.
Yeah,
I tried, but I failed. So yeah.
yeah. At one point I was all about I need to swell up. I need to get bigger. I need to, and then I look at Bruce Lee and I said, this guy didn't care about getting big.
Yeah.
He was ripped.
He was like one of those guys
He
that
was strong.
kind of made it look as if small guys can be big too, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, I just wanted to put that out there that it would have turned 72 today. I mean, he's had a huge influence on a lot of the mixed martial arts world. Anyone who's really involved in it right now somehow ties back to a Bruce Lee fan. So, very cool.
What was your favorite movie?
Enter the Dragon. For a lot of reasons, I thought it was kind of cool the whole, bringing the best fighters from everywhere.
Yeah.
What was your favorite movie?
Oh man, I think is the Iron Fist.
No,
no, I can't remember. The Last Connection or something like that.
Well, you mixed
French
up
Connection.
You mixed up 10 different movies.
But it's the one where he gets
oh,
armbarred.
man, you're killing me.
He gets armbarred actually by that Russian dude.
Okay.
And he bites himself out. I don't think that's legal in competition. I'm not sure.
But on the streets, anything goes. So,
yeah, so
it just shows you.
anyway.
You don't know how off you were with every movie you named. I'm not even going to bother correcting you. I'll just let the viewers and listeners at home just laugh right now.
Chirp me later.
Yeah, that was a bad BJJ joke, by the way. He's just playing with you.
Yeah.
He knows the name of the movie. Yeah, so speaking of BJJ, like kumites or, tournaments with the best from all over the world, Lloyd Irvin putting together arguably like the greatest thing ever right now. Have you caught wind of this or
what is
attention?
The pit dog pit?
Are you all right today?
I don't know.
The last time I thought you were this messed up, I found out after that you were intoxicated. So I'm starting to wonder right now. No, yeah, I don't know what the start of it is, like whatever it's called, but it's like a kumite. He's inviting all the best brown belts from all over the world to dig it out, have a good tournament, and then the winner gets to face Keelan Cornelius and have a nice cash prize of like $5,000 or something. He's also offering money moves, like you get X amount of dollars for hitting, like say, a X choke from mount or a cross choke or something, So I gave out a great idea, by the way. I really hope they use it. So he's asking people, hey, which money move should get,
Omoplata would be.
Yeah, which move? And then I suggested to him that, hey, let's take a money move and make that every time that move gets hit in the thing, it gets donated some money to charity.
Yeah. What move?
I picked Berimbolo. And I thought it'd be cool because everyone's whipping out these Berimbolos. So it'd be cool if you're having like a live feed and everyone's watching it, and in the corner there's a Berimbolo count.
Yeah.
And you can see like 56 Berimbolos. That means like that raised $560 so far to this foundation or something. Like I thought it'd be cool if you're gonna whip out money and throw it around. And I believe like you should. I'm not hating on that, but let's get a good cause going. I thought that'd be really cool. So hopefully the charity could get some money in that. So, but I'm pumped as a person. Next week is our BJJ Brown Belt episode, correct?
Yeah.
So next week, everyone, we have another Future Black Belts episode, all the brown belts. We're filling in one spot last second, just so you know, but should we give some names out there?
Let's do it.
All right, you go first. Name somebody who's on next week.
David Aguzzi.
from Montreal. He'll be talking a lot. We'll get him to talk a little bit about himself. I know he's not comfortable with that, but too damn bad. AJ Agazarm.
Ruben Avila?
No,
Alvarez
from Miami. We got Zach and Nathan Adamson.
Yeah.
They're brothers. They're looking good. Daniel Strauss from the UK. Thomas Beach. He was actually that's the 7th person, so we only need one more after that. I see a lot of good suggestions, but Thomas Beach was actually set up to do this Kumite.
Really?
And he had to pull out due to injury, but I believe Daniel Tostas from Toronto is filling in for him to represent Canada.
Oh.
So there's people from all over the world, Jared. There's a someone from Turkey represent. I was gonna say a Turkey competing, but who's drunk now? Yeah, someone representing Turkey. There's the best black belt from Italy. We got I meant brown belt. We got the best brown belts from Canada, the U.S., Brazil's even coming down. Everyone's going to Maryland to go do this damn amazing tournament. I know Kit Dale was invited. I don't know if he's getting out there. There's a super fight between Nisha Easton and Sophia. I believe her last name's like Aramente or something. She's a Avengers black belt. She just won the world.
Yeah, Amarante.
Yeah, she just won the worlds at black belt. So they're doing a super fight.
It's be intense.
There's a couple more super fights. I can't name them all, but
Nisha Easton, she's a Team Loiter. And
yeah, black belt.
Yeah.
You know, he was the first world champion they produced, and the brother, the sister of Mike Easton, UFC fighter. So it's 7:10. That means one damn thing. That means let's start this interview. Let's call up Felipe.
Costa.
Felipe. Whew. I am pumped up. Absolutely excited. Are you?
I am. Felipe,
right,
I just like his stuff, man.
Yeah. For those that don't see, because we were talking on the radio right now, Jared has cue cards for this interview.
Yes, I do.
Hello? Oh, I thought we were on right now.
Hello.
Ooh, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. How are you doing?
Very good, and you?
Very good. Thank you for joining us on the BJJ Addict Radio.
It's a great pleasure.
All right. Just so you know, there's two guests, two hosts. I'm David, and we have Jer.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
All right. Yeah. So if it sounds like you're talking to two different people, you are. All right. Are you ready to start this?
Yeah. Just let me know. Let me know.
All right. Let's do it right now. I've always watched some of your stuff, but I've rewatched a couple videos, and I've seen that you started only training with people your size. And for people that don't know, you usually compete at rooster weight, which is the lightest possible weight class. And I just want you to let people know what advantages that has done to you since you stopped training with the big guys.
Yes, well, the reason I started to do this training was exactly to be more realistic towards tournaments. Since I don't fight open weight, I thought it was a little bit pointless to be training with super big guys that might even hurt me by accident. And that's the second reason, if I train with people who are about my size or a little bit heavier, not too much, I think the chances of me getting hurt are going to be much smaller. And that's what I was looking for with that training. But it's still, I'm usually the lightest guy anyway. And I end up training with people who are maybe up to 10 kilos, which is about 20 pounds heavier than me anyway. But that's something I think people can handle. Up to that much, 10 kilos, 20 pounds, it's okay, I guess.
First off, how did you get into the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I just look for self-defense. It was 1991 when I started. I didn't know much about it, and I guess I was just lucky to walk into a jiu-jitsu academy. I could have walked in a anything else, just sounded very cool, jiu-jitsu. I didn't know what it was. So I was lucky, I guess.
Did you ever have to use jiu-jitsu in self-defense outside of the mats?
Yes, but when I was very young, when I was about 15 years old. I started jiu-jitsu when I was 12. When I was 15 years old, I had a fight with a bus driver who, whoever has been to Brazil knows the bus drivers are very crazy over here. They're not polite at all. I'm not proud of it, but I got in a fight with him. In my defense, I was 15. He was an adult, and I still didn't get beat up.
Bus drivers here in Canada are pretty bad too.
Well, I'm sure they are much more polite than people down here in Rio.
So that's where you are right now, correct?
Yes, I'm in Rio right now, yeah.
And where do you spend the majority of your time throughout the year?
Yeah, well, I live in Rio, but I travel from 4 to 6 months out of the year, traveling for seminars, competing. I visit academies there. Nowadays are under my supervision, my technical supervision, so they're affiliated of mine. And a lot of times my own friends here in Rio don't know if I'm back home already or I'm still traveling because of this. I go 2 weeks, come back a few days, and even the last 3 months was crazy because I was only in Rio for 10 days since September. And now I'm looking forward to stay at least 2 months at home, relaxing a little bit and training, of course.
Is there ever a point in your career where you just don't want to travel anymore?
Yes, I feel this, but it's not that I don't want to travel forever anymore, that I don't want to do it anymore, but it's a point where I feel like I really need to stay home, and that's exactly how I feel right now because I was, like I just said, 3 months away, and I didn't get to. Sometimes my wife, she comes with me, but sometimes she cannot because of work, and then it's a lot harder. Right now I'm in a point where I feel like I need a regular routine, having a fixed time to wake, having lunch at the same time, and things like this. And that's something that is hard to do because when I'm traveling in different academies, sometimes I go to a city where they just have dinner after training 11 at night. And then the next week, I'm in a city where they have dinner before training at 6 at night, And of course, I could be that guy who say, no, I do on my time, but no, I try to adapt whoever I'm with. And sometimes that's hard on my body and my mental state as well.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with that more. When you say affiliated or working with you, is this under your own banner or is it under Braza?
Yes, it's under Braza, but what happened is we have different leaders. For example, Cumprido, he has some academies who are under his supervision, which it might mean that I visit them once in a while. Just like right now, Cumprido was in Spain in an academy that in theory it's under my supervision, but we work together. But what happened is that those academies, I'm responsible for them. So I'm the one who's gonna grade them if they don't have a black belt yet. I'm the one who's gonna tell them if they are doing something that we don't agree, or pretty much supervise and give them advice on how to follow with their school.
All right. So for those that don't know at home, you're speaking of Rodrigo Camprero Medeiros.
Exactly.
You were actually his student from every belt, correct?
Correct. Well, in reality, I started jiu-jitsu before he did. He started, I guess, maybe 1 or 2 years after me. But he was so talented that he got his black belt much faster than me, maybe in 5 or 6 years. And then, as he became the teacher of the academy where I used to train, he naturally became my teacher as well. And because we built such a strong friendship, I'm very proud to call him my teacher.
Yeah. Have you had your the pleasure of having your own students receive all the way from white belt to black belt under your supervision? And what does that mean if so?
Yes, very few because I travel a lot. I don't have my own academy in Rio. I end up getting a lot of people who come to be my students when they already have blue or purple or even brown belt. And as time comes, I give them the black belt. But still, I make my biggest effort to help them improve. And if they look for me to become his master, the one who's gonna give them the belt, I'm very proud, and I'm gonna do my best to help them. And for the ones, even the ones that I start teaching from the beginning and they became black belt, it's I'm not there every day. You know, that's even something I tell in my seminars. I don't have the illusion of thinking that visiting an academy a couple times a year, I'm gonna be responsible for anyone's progress. I know I can be an example. I try to be a good example for them. I know I can be teaching them as much as I can, but the effort it's on them. You know, they are the one who's gonna be responsible for their own progress. And I even think that's the reality, even if you have a black belt who is every day with you. Because most of the academies, the black belts are not, you know, they're not like every day correcting little things. It's the whole thing, the training, the progression, and every once in a while they give advice and things like this. So I'm not responsible for them, but I'm proud to be part of it. And the little part that I'm with them, I try to give my best and make them become the best they can be.
What's your favorite part about your job?
Well, the favorite, it's everything. Yeah, I have really a dream job. In reality, it's not even a dream because I never dreamed of this. What my job became, it's something that even in my wildest dream, I never thought it would happen. You know, to live from jiu-jitsu, get paid to travel, make friends, help the others to become better, and by as I'm helping the others, I'm becoming better as well. So the whole package is awesome.
And where do you see yourself if it wasn't for jiu-jitsu being in your life?
Well, I went to college and study marketing, and I was really preparing myself to follow something like in a publicity agency, following something related to marketing. And I was even starting to work on this when I became world champion in 2003. And in 2003, I got an invitation to teach for 3 months in US. And I just accepted. I already spoke English because I was an extended student when I was 16. But I accepted the offer to teach, not thinking of a career in jiu-jitsu, but I was thinking that's going to be great opportunity for me to make my English better, to practice my English and all this. Only when I was there, I noticed that there was a possibility for me to live from what I love the most, and was something that in the beginning I thought would be only my hobby, but luckily it became my profession.
Nice. That's unbelievable. I see now that you put yourself out there and you get your name out there a lot and you have other side ventures. So did your intentional first job of marketing help you now that you're in BJJ?
Yes, I think it helps a lot because but it would help in anything, even relationships. And jiu-jitsu is a lot about relationships as well, right? Because the way I see is that you have to be marketing everything in your life, even if it's for your friend. And marketing, don't get it wrong, because I might be saying this, and some people might be thinking I mean in a bad way, but not at all. You can be doing marketing even on your relationship with your wife, with a brother, with a friend, and in jiu-jitsu. So I think the college helped me to have a good vision, and of course the experience, it helped me to get better touch with people. I believe so.
Nice. For those that don't know at home, listening right now, you have done something that most people couldn't even imagine, and that's win the worlds at black belt without ever having medaled at all in an IBJJF tournament at lower belts. Uh, what does that mean to you to have accomplished that?
Yeah, I think this is, and I'm not, what's the word? I don't like. I'm not embarrassed to say that's really a big accomplishment because I want people to see this as something that they can do as well. You know, it's not something impossible. Depends on the effort you put it and how you make your goals. And it makes me very proud to be the first and hopefully not the only one ever. But there will be more people like this. But it makes me very proud to be the first one to get these gold medals in as a black belt in the worlds without getting on the other belts.
Yeah. Just so you know, when I first got into doing jiu-jitsu and BJJ, I went out and I looked what out there as far as what's out there for me to be able to watch some movies on people. And I picked up a DVD and I actually I didn't know much about you at the time, but I bought the DVD Path to Success
Uh-huh.
and I watched it and the things you spoke about like after I started doing it really sunk in because I find sometimes I don't compete well in tournaments as much as I do in the gym. And what did it mean for you to tell your story to the public? And also, was it weird being that honest on film and putting it out to the world?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You know, when we hear about sports and big athletes who have accomplished a lot, we're always used to hear that there are those amazing stories. That guy who was natural champion, you know, always won, and the guy, you know, for example, they tell the story about Michael Jordan saying that he put a lot of effort and all this, but I don't care how much we train, we're not gonna be like Michael Jordan. You know, like in basketball, you either have some talent or you don't. In other sports as well. But I think in jiu-jitsu, you can learn even if you're not natural talent. And I think that was my case. You know, I have a weak body. I get injured a lot. You know, when I get injured, it takes me forever to heal. It's not like the guys that I hear all the time on the magazine that they have a surgery a month later they are ready to go again and compete in a high level and things like this. So I think when I put in my story over there, telling exactly how frustrated I was, how I lost in 20 seconds in my first match and the second, third, you know, how I lost so often, a lot of people see like, wow, this guy is like me. You know, he wasn't born a superhero. He's just a regular guy like me, and he made it. He was able to get this much, and I think I can do as well. You know, that's the story I want to give, and I think and I hope I inspire a lot of people to follow the same steps.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was going to say about I really could relate to you. I've always been a fan of yours since and followed what you've been up to because I feel the same way sometimes. Uh, Other than that, you also put out a really compelling mini documentary series. It's called 30 Plus. It's about you after coming back from injury. And I saw a cool movie from our friends BJJ Hacks. It's called Jiu-Jitsu for Small Guys and the Winner Mindset for Competition uh, for people out there to watch. You said a really good line in there. Um, you said you get down 2 points and you know you could quit right there, go home and have some lemon pie. Uh, I laughed really hard, but it's true. Our minds do play tricks on us sometimes. Uh, how did you push through those moments, though?
Well, I think with me it would happen exactly like this. And so many times I listened to what my mind was saying and just gave it up. But I would feel horrible for the next week. And then I would be demoralized. I would think I would never do this again. And then after a week, I would be like, no, training again, going back and training hard again and getting ready. And I think I had a lot of experience. And the thing, I didn't give up on my losses So I start to learn what would be the little change that made myself a little bit better. And in my case, was really, really, really tiny steps at the time. You know, it was not that I lost twice and I became world champion. I lost for several years. Several years. Was not two competition, was not 3, 4, 5, not 10. Was many years losing many fights. It took me at least 3 years to win my first fight, not my first tournament. And after 3 years, I won my first tournament. And then, and so on, there was the progression. So you really have to see what are the way you have to think to make yourself better on those tournaments or whatever goal you have. I have realized that for me, I have to be calm and relaxed the same way I am in the academy. I try to be aggressive. I try to be too relaxed. I try, to be angry at my opponent. Everything I tried, what I find it that works for me so far, it might change in the future, but so far, is that I have to simulate the mindset that I have when I walk in the academy to roll. And that's when I perform my best. And when I can simulate that, I do good. And still nowadays, don't think that I have mastered and I don't get nervous anymore. I still get, I wouldn't say nervous, but I still make mistakes. I still become worried about how I'm going to fight with this or that opponent. So I have to always be very focused on that state, that mind state to be able to perform my best.
How important is it to have a balance of fun, in your training as opposed to being serious all the time? Do you think it helps to have fun while rolling?
I think it's the only way. I think it's the only way. During all my years of training, I have I had as training partner people who were much better than me, people who got much better results than me, but they didn't enjoy training as much as I do and as I did at the time. And the truth is, right now, for example, I have a flu. I don't know if you can notice a little bit by my voice, and I haven't trained for the last 2 days, and I'm climbing the walls here in my house because I feel like training so much. And I told you, I just came from a long trip. I feel like resting and all. But being in the mat, for me, is fun. Training is fun. I love this process very much. So I think it's very important. If you're not enjoying the training, what is the point? It makes no sense for me.
Do you think it's important to find another activity, on the side other than jiu-jitsu?
Well, I think it's important, but I haven't found anything yet. I don't know. People ask, what's your hobby? And I don't know. I even try to make up some things so I don't look stupid that I only do jiu-jitsu, but I really don't have anything else that I do besides jiu-jitsu. Of course, I love to read. I love to watch movies and stuff, those things, but I'm not a ping pong player or a surfer like a lot of people. So I would love to have a second hobby to split my attention, but jiu-jitsu is really my passion.
Well, I wish you luck in finding that.
I mean, everyone thinks that the ultimate goal is winning the worlds at black belt, but since you've already accomplished that, what have been some new goals that you still want to accomplish?
Yeah, this is something that I think every guy who reaches a certain level have problems with, deciding when is the moment to slow down or set new goals and stuff. For myself, what I try to do is because, my first tournament as a black belt was 2002. I lost in the Worlds, and then I fought 2003, I won. And since 2003, I have been keeping myself on top 3 in all tournaments. I even became European champion. I became Brazilian national champion. I have been twice in the final of the Pan Ams. So my goal right now is to keep myself among those 3, and of course, every time that is possible to win. But that's not my dream anymore. My dream was in 2003 when I became world champion for the first time. My dream now is to improve my technique, help the ones around me to improve as much as I do, and build a good relationship with my students. And I really don't consider myself as having students, but friends. And I know it sounds very cliche to say this, but it's the truth. Whenever I'm teaching a friend of mine, I feel that I want to give every possible information that I have to them. And I know any student of mine, any friend of mine can tell you the same thing. I believe I succeed giving them that impression that I'm really trying to help them when I'm teaching. And that has become my new goal.
That's a great rule. I was gonna say you have started a BJJ camp. It's getting more popular, but at the time when you first opened up this idea, it was one of the first around. Can you explain that and what it's through and who's involved?
Yes. Well, I believe we were the first one, especially making that concept we were doing in Rio. And it was Comprido and I were doing together this and inviting different people. For example, we had Demian Maya and other black belts on the camp. And it became so popular that many people start doing the same. What made us very proud to know that our idea was very accept around many academies, and they were also doing this. What happened is we did about 10 editions in Rio, and then we decided it was time to try something different. So last year we did for the first time in Greece, and this year we did in September in Cancun, which was also very nice. And we're planning to do 2013, probably around September as well, the camp in Cancun again.
Nice. When you set up something like this and you brought this great idea to people, were you scared of failing, or did you just know in your heart that this idea was gold and was going to take off?
Well, it depends how you define failure, because if you mean like not making money, I wasn't worried. Of course, I wanted to make money with this as well. But imagine if I managed to get Comprido and Demian Maya and I, plus another black belts together during 10 days in a hotel or in a house to train jiu-jitsu. I invite other people. And those guys, those black belts, they're like this. Look, if we make a lot of money, everybody make money. If nobody makes money, we're going to have 10 days vacation. Everybody agree? Yes. So maybe I'm going to failure on the financial part, but even if nobody's go, it means I'm going to be training with Comprido and Damian Maya and whoever black belts there for 10 days. So I call this success.
I'm going to agree with you.
But
what are some
giving you a more straight answer. No, I was confident we would attract enough people to make also a financial success. We try to have not so many people, from 10 to 20 guys, and normally our average is indeed about 15 guys.
Nice.
What are some of the nicest places you've traveled that you enjoyed teaching jiu-jitsu?
Well, man, I have been to so many nice places that it's even hard to pick. But I'm gonna say, for example, the place that I was just last in Mexico, I have built so many fun relationships, so many friends and academies that I visit there, that I'm never worried about what's gonna be. I always know it's gonna be fun. For example, this year I had the chance to go to Thailand for the first time. It was an amazing experience. Even though, the world is globalized and you pretty much can, with the internet, be in contact with everybody. But in Thailand, I could see, everything is different. The smell is different. The culture wasn't, of course there is influence, but wasn't so much affected by the globalization, and all this was amazing. Another place that I went that is a little bit out of the ordinary this year was Chechnya. And great experience. I was treated over there like a king. People took us to visit the mountains, the sightseeing. It's not in war anymore, as so many people think. And even though many people told me I should be careful, I didn't feel any danger over there. So, I guess I'm very lucky to visit so many places the way I do.
Nice. Is there any competitions that you're going to be doing with the remainder of the year, or perhaps early 2013?
Well, I was planning this year, not anymore, because now I'm gonna be focused on my training again, dropping weight that I ate too many tacos in Mexico. I have to burn all this, uh, and I was planning to fight the European, but I'm even thinking about not going and focus more on the Pan Ams. And for sure in Rio, I'm gonna be fighting many smaller competitions, as a way to get ready for the Pan Am. So I would say the next big tournament will be Pan Ams, I guess.
Who is the toughest opponent that you've ever fought?
Oh, well, it's the thing is, I could tell you many names. There's no easy fight, and I'm sure you hear this a lot. But personally, in my case, and for those who know my story, my biggest challenge it's how my head's gonna be on the day, and it also relates with how much training I did, uh, how my diet is going, how my physical condition is. So I guess my biggest challenge is my own head.
Um, can you explain what the feeling was when you first won the Worlds?
It was such a big feeling of um accomplishment. Like my duty was accomplishment. Everything that I dreamed and worked for was accomplished. Really great, great, great feeling. But I think the biggest lesson is that the moment I arrived in my house, I entered the door of my house, I was the same person. There was no magic. I didn't change. What it changed was the perspective of people around me. So I end up having people who thought that I was becoming cocky, or people who changed the way they were treating me. But myself, I was the exact same person. I didn't feel better than the others. I didn't feel like I knew more than the others because I was still getting my butt kicked in the academy. So that's something that people have to be aware. Don't make your dreams, or don't think you're only going to be happy when you achieve that certain goal. You have to have goals in your life to make you go further than if you just don't have those goals. But know that when you get there, you're going to be the same person. Of course, with more experience and all this. I'm not saying from this part, but you're going to be the same person as if you don't get that exact goal. In my case, was the world tournament.
What was the greatest advice someone has given you that is related to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Well, I don't know if it was the greatest, but something that comes in my head is when I was younger, even before blue belt, I was yellow belt, close to blue belt. I had a friend of mine who trained in another academy that was much better than me and succeeding in tournaments and all. And I asked him, why was he so much better than me? What was his advice for me to become much better? And the advice he gave me was that I should be the first one to arrive in the academy and just leave when they shut the lights off. And I think there is a lot of things to learn from that sentence, you know, because I see a lot of people who want to be the best. I see a lot of people who even come to me and ask, "Help me! I want to be, to be the best I can be. I want to be champion of this and that." And on the next day, they don't go to class, or they're late in class. So I see a lot of people who want, but they don't want to pay the price to get where they want to go. So that advice that my friend gave, I took it very seriously. And there is no other secret than hard work and smart. You have to train smart, of course. It's not just being from the first to last, but train smart during your training. And that's going to depend a lot on your teacher as well and training partner. But the most important is, do you want to get there? Are you willing to pay the price? You know, if you're willing to pay the price, you cannot be at home just because you feel like sleeping a little more. You cannot be at home just because you're tired. You cannot be at home because your girlfriend did a, how you call this, like blackmail. Oh, don't go, please, and stuff. You have to go. You know, you have to set your goals and you have to go. It doesn't matter what other things distract you. You have to keep with your plan.
I agree with you. We got to get rid of those girls that try to blackmail you.
No, that's the thing. That's why I got married with my high school sweetheart. You know, my girlfriend from when I was very young, and I was lucky that I started jiu-jitsu even before I met her. So she knows she could never compete with jiu-jitsu. So I think people have to set the standards in the beginning. I think it's a very huge mistake that a lot of people do to, as soon as they get a girlfriend, they stop training and all this. And sometimes even the girlfriend make pressure for them not to train anymore without realizing that might be the biggest mistakes they are doing on the relationship. Because when you start dating somebody who have their own social life, even if it's in the academy, and you force the person to get out of there to spend more time with you, you're killing a very important part of that person. And well, I know you guys are not talking to me to get my love advice, but that's my advice for whoever get a new girlfriend. You don't have to be rude, but make sure you make the very clear the rules that you're not gonna stop jiu-jitsu. Because when this girlfriend turn the back on you, jiu-jitsu is gonna be there for you. So don't turn your back to jiu-jitsu.
I'm actually glad you said that because no one ever talks about that. Everyone just kind of says, man, I wish I had a girlfriend who loved MMA or understood how much I love BJJ. I couldn't agree more with you. I've actually lost some friends to some bitter girlfriends they've had. So
It's crazy, man.
Imagine.
Imagine this. I have a girlfriend and she danced before I met her. So she has a nice body, you know. She goes to the academy every, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times of the week. And then I start dating her and I say, no, you're spending too much time on your dances class. I want you to be more time with me. It sounds crazy, right? Because a man wouldn't do this, but the woman does. But anyway, what's going to be the consequence? She's going to start to get fat. She's going to start to be grumpy because she's not going to the academy anymore. And then what would be my complaint? You're not the same anymore. Of course not. I forced her to stop being the person she was. So turn that around to jiu-jitsu. Your girlfriend is very happy that you lost weight. You look strong. You know, she feels confident that you can defend her if that's the case. And then she said, no, let's go to the movie. You don't need to train tonight. Oh, come on. You stay. How long is your class? 1 hour and a half? You stay 2 hours? What are you doing there? We're just talking about other girls. You know why you're not there? What's the problem? So don't change. Don't change. So don't complain about who your boyfriend's not the same anymore. That's my advice.
I love it.
It's funny because it brought up bad memories. It's like you explained my whole relationship. So
you
saying all this, and I'm hoping my wife is already sleeping and not hearing anything I'm saying.
Because I stopped doing jiu-jitsu because of this girl, and I jumped 2 weight classes. So.
See?
And he hates himself.
Still.
He's single again, and he's starting to look skinny finally.
There you go.
All right, moving on from this. I'm not gonna lie, that was probably my favorite thing I've ever heard on all our interviews. Just so you know.
Cool.
Speaking of not training, though, what are some of your favorite movies to watch when you do actually relax? Is it a comedy? Do you watch American movies, or are there Brazilian films that we don't even know about?
Well, American movies are very popular in Brazil, so yes, I do watch them a lot. I like to, for example, just right now, before I came to talk to you guys, I was watching the series Game of Thrones that a friend of mine, KC from Texas, gave me, and I'm having a lot of fun to watch this. But I also enjoy, for example, Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is like a kind of humor kind of thing, comedy, and pretty much everything. I like it. Those things, they're completely different from just jiu-jitsu, MMA, so I can relax my mind a little bit.
Curb Your Enthusiasm, Larry David. That's one of
Yes,
the funniest shows I've ever watched.
yes, I love it. I love it. If you call my phone now, you're gonna hear the ringtone is the from the tan 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 tan. Yes.
Um, this is the best thing ever. Music. Do you listen to music while training in classes, or is it very quiet?
Well, if I would choose, I would prefer to be quiet in the room. But the same way, if I would choose in the tournament, I would prefer to be quiet, but it's not. Then I don't mind if people put songs, whatever they like. But if I was just doing for my own sake, to relax, I would prefer a quiet room. But again, I don't mind if people put music. So,
Nice. Let's say there's a life movie being made about you in Hollywood. Which actor would play you?
oh man, I don't know. Well, would probably be somebody close to Larry David, I would guess.
Do you ever find yourself in a scenario kind of like Larry David?
Well, my wife jokes with me saying that I'm a little bit like him. Of course, I disagree, but that's what she says.
I don't think Larry David looks like you at all, though.
No. It doesn't look like. But yeah, if you want somebody who looks like me, who would that be? I don't know. Somebody very handsome, but I don't know who.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, something like that.
um, who is somebody in the jiu-jitsu world that you would love to just have a roll with, no time limits, not in a competition mode, just someone you could roll with that you've always dreamt of having a good roll with?
Well, if you put it like this, there would be a lot of people that I would like to roll just to have fun with.
Well, you
But
can name a couple.
being a little bit realistic, I'm lucky that I had the chance to roll with Cumprido himself, with Caio Terra, that it's my friend since we're very young, and a lot of people don't know that. And we do this very often. For example, he's coming now in the end of the year to spend the the New Year's Eve and Christmas with his family, and we're probably gonna be training a lot while he's here. So it's somebody that I have a lot of pleasure, that I can say that I helped him a little bit when he was growing up, and now he helps me a lot as he has become so good.
Nice. Who's some people that you have never got to roll with that you would love to?
Well, I have never rolled, even though I have met, I have never rolled with Marcelo Garcia. That would be very interesting. I have never rolled with the Mendes brothers, and they're always very friendly when I meet them. So that would be cool as well. Now talking about new generation, the Meow's brother, man, I would love to have them do that crazy leg stuff to take my back and see how I would react with that. Some older guys. Let me think. Well, I'm trying to avoid like people. Of course, there are many heavier guys. They're amazing, but I know they can just crush me. Aside from the technique, they're probably much better than mine. They can also probably just crush me. So that's why I'm trying to stick with names of people who are smaller than me. Even though I do train with Comprido, he's much bigger, much heavier, but I do learn a lot as well. So
The people you named are phenomenal, by the way, and I would pay to watch you roll with all those people.
I will tell them. Maybe they want
Yeah,
to get more money.
let's set it up. We get a little channel going for you. I was just gonna ask a question now. It just dropped my mind. Oh yeah, have you ever secretly came close or thought of competing in MMA?
Well, in the very beginning, when it was really like style against style, jiu-jitsu against other martial arts, I really when it was becoming big, I really thought that in a certain moment I would be doing this. But now, with the way it became professional, I wouldn't do it, not even for a lot of money, you know. And I just don't have the skills. I just haven't trained for it. My stand-up game, it's as good as my wife's stand-up game. In reality, she beats me up. She's better than me. And I really think I wouldn't do it at all, not even for a good amount of money.
Does it make you sad when you see someone at such a high level of BJJ leave the sport and do MMA, or are you excited?
Well, it's a little bit of both because when somebody leaves because it's his passion, for example, Damian Maia is a close friend of mine. When he left, he didn't leave for the money. He always had this as a goal. He always had his dream was to become a MMA fighter. Even though when he had this dream, it wasn't even called MMA, but he always thought of this. So it's something different. Now, when I see somebody changing for MMA just because they believe they can make more money, and usually they're right, they can make more money in MMA, then it's a little bit sad. You know, I wish everybody could just live from jiu-jitsu, but it's not even possible to live from jiu-jitsu just on competition, even though it's growing, the tournaments that pay, but everybody needs to cheat, give seminars and things like this.
That's unfortunate, though, that the sport we love so much uh, doesn't have much of a financial gain for anyone, even at the highest levels. I'm really hoping that changes in the future. I just wanted to ask you, I'd never seen a DVD out with you teaching moves. Have you ever put one out that I missed? Or if not, have you thought about putting something out there for the fans that you have?
That's something very nice that you ask because just recently, you know, some of my affiliated, because I already travel so much, they have been asking of solutions for me to spend more time teaching them and all this. And we have decided the best thing to do, and we're gonna be starting this probably early next year in January. I'm gonna start with an online training program, very similar to others that are already out there. And the reality is gonna be it's something I'm making for my affiliated, but of course it's gonna be open for other people who are interested. And I want to make something as personal as it can be. I want to have this closeness that we're having right now. Somebody that can write me or even Skype me or something and make me questions, and I'm gonna be trying to teach the technique based on their needs and things like this. You know, again, it's not something I'm making for the money. Of course, money is gonna be a consequence, but it's something that I'm making to help make those students of mine to grow, to become better. And it's gonna be a lot of techniques and a lot of. I'm gonna be exchanging a lot of experience on my tournaments and breaking down techniques from tournaments and all this. So I'm very much looking forward to this.
Can I give a suggestion about this?
Of course.
All right. Me personally, I don't know about yourself, but I watch a lot of videos and the content's great, the moves phenomenal, but I'm kind of uh, really weird. I want to know what's going through the person's head. There's never enough theory. I find they don't explain what their concept is enough on what they're thinking, where they would go. I find they just miss out on some key points when they're doing video. They don't uh, have your personal thoughts on the position. It always seems to be a lot about what you've heard all the time, you know, not a personal, like, I never go this way because of this, you know?
That's very interesting. For sure, I'm gonna remember that. And I think maybe you haven't had the chance to watch a class of mine. And what I
Yes.
try to do is to break down techniques in a way to become very simple. You know, even for a beginner to understand and a more experienced guy. And I try to give a little bit of the insight of how I came up with that position. Not I'm not saying how I invented, but how I came up to start doing this because I was having trouble in which situation and what led me to that. So it might be a little bit similar to what you're saying, no?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because when I'm learning from someone, I don't want to just learn a half guard pass. I want to learn why they chose that exact move for half guard pass.
Very nice. Very nice. That's a good tip, and I'm gonna try to remember that. Very nice.
Thank you. That's all. I just really find when I'm watching people, I miss out on, you know, we're watching their videos because we're fans and we want to emulate them, but sometimes they miss out on the theory behind on why they even chose this move or, you know, they just kind of show the move. So I would appreciate that as a fan watching the videos.
Nice.
Before we let you go, is there anything you would like to put out there, how people can follow you on Twitter or Facebook or your DVD or what's coming up that they should look out for? Just plug everything.
Yes. Well, I want to start saying thanks to my sponsor, Storm Kimonos. They are with me since August, and I'm very much looking forward to work with them. They have been treating me very nice, and I like very much their gis and fight wares. Also, you were mentioning about the Path to Success DVD that you bought. Just
Yeah.
recently, I have put it on YouTube so people can find it for free and watch there. If people
Nice.
want to be in contact with me, my website is felipecosta.com, and I'm as well on Facebook and Twitter at Felipe Costa BJJ, also Instagram and everywhere. Send me a message. I'll be very happy to answer.
Nice. Well, good luck with your online curriculum. I'll be looking out for that. This has been an absolute,
Pleasure.
yeah, a big pleasure. I'm a huge fan of yours. I'm always rooting for you. I just love watching small guys do jiu-jitsu. I really don't like the heavyweights, I'll tell you that much.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. It was a great pleasure to get invited by you guys to be part of this interview. I'm very happy the way it turned out. I hope I didn't say too many crazy stuff and that you guys have enjoyed as much as I did.
Oh, we did.
It was the best. One last thing. I'm hoping one day we see you and Larry David on the mats doing some jiu-jitsu. That's gotta happen.
Perfect. I'm looking
All right.
forward to that.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Enjoy your night. All right, man. That wraps up one of my favorites, and that's not trying to be disrespectful to anyone who's been on the show before, but man, Larry David, I love that man. So that was awesome. For you those that don't know, right before the show, me and Jer went out, and what did we do, Jer?
We took Santa Claus pictures.
Oh man, we went to the mall and took a pic with Santa. Yeah,
It was a good day, man. So far, you know, this interview and Santa Claus. Plus, we got the Santa Claus picture free, so you know.
Oh man. Anyways, we'll post that pic on our Facebook. We'll put a little Happy Holidays touch to it from the BJJ Radio, and we'll let you guys see the pic we did with Santa. We actually got Santa to throw up a
hang tight.
Yeah, Santa Claus threw up a hang tight for us.
He was asking if it was you know, gang signs and whatnot. But,
yeah,
you know,
he made sure that he wasn't throwing up a gang sign. We had to explain to him that we say hang tight at each one of our radio shows. That was kind of like foreshadowing. So let's wrap this up, everyone. Thank you very much. I feel like we just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we did.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
And hang
Thanks,
tight.
Felipe. Let's do it.